Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. In today's video, I want to talk about the Buccaneers' interior defensive line position, how they should go about defensive line for this upcoming offseason. I think there's room for growth there. I think there's room to improve the overall floor for the position group. They have really good players in Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea. Kalijah is a player that's ascending. They have Logan Hall, who showed improvement this past season with his ability to get after the passer. So there's upside. There's still really good, room for ceiling there to grow. But I think when looking at this team, there's opportunity to really upgrade the floor of the unit. And I'm specifically talking about the backups. But as you see my tweet here, I think interior defensive line is an underrated need for the Bucs, as there is opportunity in this draft to upgrade depth behind Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey, but also upgrade the floor for the position group. And we'll get into the draft and look at the position as a whole. I think it's a very strong defensive line group overall, and I think the Buccaneers should utilize the draft pick on that position upcoming, in the upcoming draft. But there is a couple names I want to look at. But before we get there, let's look at the defensive line group. So, like I mentioned, Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea, Logan Hall, that's pretty solid. That's a solid group up front. But I think the players behind them, that's where they need to improve. Greg Gaines, I wouldn't mind seeing come back. I thought he was decent as a backup to Vita Vea. I think he provides some, good quality play. So I wouldn't mind him returning. But I think the rest of it, you can look to upgrade. CJ Brewer, I think, is decent for being a six defensive lineman. I think there's upside with him. I liked what he brought. But the others, William Golston, Mike Green, and the remaining names, I think that is where you can find some upgrades and looking for more potential, more upside to back up your starters, or even potentially just give them competition, right? To challenge them, challenge Logan Hall, challenge Kalijah and Vita to be better. So when looking at the potential free agents that are along the defensive line, I one name really catches my eye, and that's Levi Onwuzurike. I think from Detroit. Now he's been kind of up and down in his career. He's had some injury issues, but man, when the guy is on the field, he is one of the better interior defensive linemen. So I really like his game. And also looking at Puna Ford, I think he would be another intriguing option. Now, again, it just comes down to dollars and how much are these guys going to cost. So I think that's why I probably lean more towards the draft and us adding an asset there instead of free agency. But looking at Levi, I thought, again, he was a really good player, 45 pressures from the defensive line position. That's really good. And I think he would be just an ideal rotational piece to have, because you could put him in for Kalijah Cansey or Logan Hall and not lose a step when other guys come in. So again, going to be 27 years old. I think he would be an ideal free agent to spend money on. But again, we have to see. And Detroit, I know, probably wants to bring him back. So it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to make it to free agency. And then the other target I talked about, Puna Ford, again, not the biggest guy, 5'11", but he's 310 pounds and he's just stout against the run. Offers upside as a pass rusher with 23 pressures and played really well. I think, again, he's another guy you could just bring in to really upgrade your play there once Vita Vea is out of the game, or, sub them in, or even have Puna Ford in as a starter, have Logan Hall as your rotational piece. I think that would just fortify your front line, your defensive line overall. But then we get to this draft class, and it is very strong at the defensive line position. And I think this is where the Bucs could potentially, use a first round pick here, a sneaky first round pick option, because if there's not a top edge guy available at 19, if there's not a corner that they really like, I could see defensive line being a pick. Walter Nolan is one of those guys. Tyleik Williams is really good. Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon. all these guys, I mean, 1 through 10, um, and again, you could wait for like an Alfred Collins, Shamar Stewart's. I think, well, Shamar Stewart's going to play edge. I don't know why he's on this list, but CJ West is another good one. Anenas Peebles. So these are all players that we like here at Real Bucks Talk, and we'll definitely try to get, film studies for them. If there's any film studies you guys want us to look at of these names that we mentioned, please let us know in the comments. Omar Noman Lott is really good. Elijah Roberts. There's a lot of good players here to look at. And yeah, definitely going to be fun. But I think, again, defensive line is a position to look for. I know a lot of people are talking about corner, linebacker, edge. All those are important and rightfully so. And hopefully we make additions there. But I think defensive line is an area where they can look to add depth and get better overall as a group, because with the rotations and the way Todd Bowles places guys, you want to have a better second unit in there that can just give you a little bit more upside for playmaking ability. And that's why I feel, defensive line could be a position that they go after, especially in the upcoming draft. We'll see about free agency. Levi Onwuzurike would be my top target. So definitely intriguing. I think that is a move. Before I forget to mention, the Buccaneers also have some upcoming free agents at this position group among the defensive line. As you see it here, they have Greg Gaines, who's going to be a free agent, William Golston, a free agent, Eric Banks, and CJ Brewer. So that makes the need even more pressing, because I think you want to upgrade at that spot. Now, I could see Greg Gaines or maybe even William Golston coming back, but still there's upside, like we talked about with the free agents that we targeted and then the upcoming draft. But then you also have to look at Logan Hall is going to be a free agent after this upcoming season. So you just want to be prepared for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers look at the upcoming draft or free agency to add some players here, especially with the upcoming free agents. Not to forget to mention that Vita Vea is getting up there in age. He's not getting any younger. So you want to continue to put resources there for the upcoming seasons. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that like button. Comment down below your thoughts of the defensive line group, and what do you expect the Buccaneers to look for, or who do you want them to add there at the position? Let us know. And with that said, until the next one.